and we are off. And yay. We're on track.
We're on track. Hello.
What's up? This is what?
This is the obligatory podcast with Kermit and Myke. I'm Mike Hurley.
Kermit Gonzalez.
And this is January 30th, 2018.
Took us a month. To figure out how to press play and record.
Yeah, and have the microphones on and have the phones off.
Yep.
I mean, baby steps, man. Baby steps. You know, there's some people who still don't have this figured out.
No. I'm hoping I got this figured out now. So I keep staring at the Zoom. But yeah, it should be good. We're good.
Yeah. This is for all intent and purposes our first podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do this thing. So how are we gonna? We had a rap sheet and we were gonna follow it because that's how you professionals do it.
Professionals do it.
So what'd you do this weekend?
So what I do is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. No, that didn't sound forced at all.
No,
where were you at this week?
Where were you?
That was very Byron Allen. Do you remember watching Byron Allen? He had that comedy show, the stand-up show, Comics Unleashed.
Oh yeah.
And this is the thing I love about Byron Allen. He would have comics on the show, and he would kind of direct them towards their material. Now, when you see a good comedian like, David Letterman do that, it's like, no, were you always a comic, or what did you do before? And then Bill Burr will, when I was a kid, I had this job, blah, blah, blah. And he does some bit he had about working, you know? When Byron Allen does it, he's not subtle at all. It's like, hey, so that I got you on the show. Did you ever work on a chicken farm when you were 8 years old? And coincidentally, the guy's like, I did work on a chicken farm when I was 8 years old. Let me tell you a little funny story. So, yeah, that just felt like you had that Byron Allen type of...
I had it in the chamber.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I was out at Gregory's Comedy Club Thursday through Saturday out in Cocoa Beach, Florida with Kevin White. So
that's cool.
It was a good weekend. It was 3 days, of good shows. Thursday night was a small audience, only about 30 people, but the next two nights were pretty packed out. So
cool.
Good time out there. Only thing about that is that's one of those rooms that the booker sends you over the info, and they want it to be like no F-bombs, PG-13, and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, there's no one in here 13 years old. I mean, these people might have 13-year-old great-great-great-great-grandkids, but other than that.
So you curse the storm.
No, you're not supposed to. Like
they
specifically ask because they're above this like fine dining type steakhouse, and
okay.
I think they're worried the F-bombs are gonna float downstairs or something like that.
Is Gregory's Groucho's? No,
Gregory's. There's been like 4 different bookers in there over the years I've worked it.
Okay.
I think the first time I worked it was 2006, 2007, and at that time it was ran by Groucho's. And then Jackie Knight from Jackie Knight's Comedy Club went in there. And then for a short time, Bill Alcock had his hand in it. And now it's Funny Business does all the bookings.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well,
how about you? What do you have going on?
I did nothing.
Really? Nothing?
That was great.
No, nothing?
Nothing. I went to Universal Studios Saturday for that whole Harry Potter thing.
Yeah? Did you see the twins? I guess that was the big deal.
No, I just went and walked the park and then we left. I was like, so many people here, let's leave. And that's what happened. We didn't even ride a ride.
Oh, well, it's funny. I'm actually going tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
I'm going tomorrow. A buddy of mine, Gene Lionel McGee, he comes out to the shows.
Probably by face.
Yeah, he runs the parades over at Disney. He's like the parade. You've seen him before, I'm sure.
Okay.
But he hit me up, and he's like, hey, man, I got 2 free passes to Universal. The only downside is they expire on the 31st. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take them. You know?
So you're
but
going
then,
tomorrow.
The kids in school and everything else, plus they just went last weekend for Harry Potter. So now I'm like, Daddy's going to play hooky and go to Universal for the day. And then I don't have many friends. And then the ones I do have real jobs. And then the other ones already work at Universal. So I was like, who can I offer this ticket to? So I'm excited.
That's cool.
I feel like it's a guy's date out, and just.
But by the way, so I went staying with Universal Studios. So we went and watched like a musical light show that they do in front of the castle, like the Hogwarts castle.
Yeah, I saw something like that online. It looked amazing.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's like it runs like every 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was like a show. But so we're standing in line, and they're naming the houses.
Right.
was it Hufflepuff,
Gryffindor.
and then Slytherin,
Right.
which is the
Supposed to
bad
be-
evil, right?
Well, technically.
So they say Slytherin, and everyone goes ape shit.
Yeah.
And I just make a comment. I didn't think it was loud. I just make a comment to my girl. I'm like, man, there's a lot of evil fans here. Dude, I got like almost lynched. They're not evil.
Right.
And as they're saying, like, there's a giant viper snake trying to bite somebody.
Yep.
And you're talking about it's not evil. And I had to leave because I was getting people pissed off.
Yeah.
They try to explain to me.
Because you don't understand.
Oh, dude, I
a
was
few
like-
bad apples that we based 8 movies around do not make it.
I didn't even finish watching the show. I left.
Yeah,
Because they're like,
yeah.
it became 1, then 2, then 3. Like, he's not evil.
Yeah.
And, like, they pointed at a kid that was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a Slytherin. He's not evil. I'm like, oh.
Well, if you dump him out of the chair, Slytherin's pretty much the only option he'd have, I guess. You know?
See, I didn't even think that. I left.
It's
I
more of a
left.
worm than a. You know.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the show. So I watched it on YouTube. So it's the same shit.
Wow, only you could,
Dude, like, it was like a mob of them wanting to whip my ass.
Yeah, and that doesn't prove that they're evil.
And nothing like getting beat up by a bunch of people in Harry Potter cosplay.
Yeah,
That'd be embarrassing.
They got those robes on.
Karate instructor,
Yeah.
asshole.
Man, don't get me wrong. My 7-year-old last year for his birthday, we went and we got one of the robes, and he really wanted one and everything else. And it's cool, and it comes with a little wand holder on
Right.
the inside and everything else. But at the same time, at 6 years old, he was smart enough that when it hit 95 degrees out, he's like, Dad, can you carry this for me?
Yeah, no.
Meanwhile, you see these people, they're like 450 pounds. They got 2 robes they sewed together, and they're wearing that one around. And it's like 102 degrees out, and they're sweating, but they're like, nope. I guarantee if Harry Potter had been going up, I mean, in every movie, it snows. It's always Christmas at some point.
it was
They're wearing
cold.
the robes and the sweaters.
Yeah, it was cold. They were out in.
Yeah.
They were out full deck.
It was
gear.
perfect robe,
yeah.
scarf weather.
They're
Yeah,
walking
get
around
that.
the brooms between their legs, everything.
That's like anything, man. There's fans, and then there's like fanatics,
Yeah.
And those people are crazy.
And I said the wrong thing by calling them evil.
Definitely. Do you have anything in your life that if someone had, somewhat
Like,
off?
passionate enough to be like,
Is there anything you're passionate about that if someone's not educated on the subject and makes a statement that you're willing to throw
that's
down
not
over?
real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
What?
what? What do you mean Spider-Man's not white? Like, no, I don't care. I mean, it's cool. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get that.
Because you do a lot of the geek stuff. You like go to MegaCon and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah, I go to MegaCon every year, and
What
know.
was it? You used to do storyboard. Was it storyboard work?
Storyboard work.
For what show?
Invader
Invader.
Zim.
I've never seen that.
It's a great cartoon.
Like, I know it's a thing. I know that there's a cult following for it. I've
Yeah.
heard it so many times, but I've never seen an actual episode. What is?
Invader Zim is pretty much about an alien that comes to Earth by accident. He's an invader, and they send him to Earth because the alien race that he works for or he's part of, they actually hate him. So they exile them to Earth, and he has it in his head that he has to please them, and he's just a big F up. And
So
it's
is
just
he
crazy.
go to Earth and figure this is his shot to take over this planet?
Right, he's trying
Is
to
that the whole-
enslave the world for what they call the tallest, which are his like leaders,
Okay.
and the leaders hate him.
Okay.
And it's real goofy. It's really funny. It's one of cult favorites. You gotta watch it. It's,
Where did it play? Where did
Nickelodeon.
It air?
Or
Years
it was-
ago, or
it was
is it
part of
something that's
Nicktoons,
still going on?
around, I would say, around when like Angry Beavers came out.
Oh,
and,
okay. That I'm familiar with.
like I think Rugrats was still around, and like Wild Thornberries.
Mm-hmm.
It was way before. No, it was way after Doug and like Ren and Stimpy.
Right. How long did it last? How long was it on the air for?
Two seasons, 2.5 seasons, and then they're actually bringing it back.
Oh, really?
The creator decided to come back, but he's making a movie.
Oh, cool.
But it's big in comics still.
How did you get linked up with that?
Through a friend. So Steven Sanchez knew.
He was like one of the main artists, or he was working on
He
it?
was on storyboards too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he also worked on Transporter 2, and he dragged me along. I got to stay in the set and just hang out. And that's it. And pretty much that was short lived.
Right.
And now we're doing our own thing, and we're trying to make our own comic coming out. So we're working on that, and yeah, that's it. Pretty much, that's supposed to come out soon. We're working on the storyboards.
What's
and
the
all
name of what?
that. Honest Stone.
What's that?
Honest Stone. ONI, then Stone.
On a stone. Okay. Well, I hope when you do a podcast with him, you spend a good 5 minutes talking about what we're doing. Yeah, exactly. So
you brought it up. I was like, oh, we're
no, I
going down
I did because it's interesting. It's about you, and yeah, that's cool, man. Is storyboarding like a good paying job if you can get it? Like, is there money in it, or is it more of just the?
No, if you're working for a good series, yeah. If it's
how much of it do you do by hand, and how much of it is like computerized digital stuff now?
Everything's by hand, I think, on storyboards.
Oh yeah,
because you have to erase and change and erase and change. You don't want to deal with unless you have like a Wacom tablet, you can just draw it. Like a big screen, and then you can just draw it on a screen.
Nice.
But that's pretty much it. And then
so there you go. We're like 7 minutes in, and we've already hit on one of your untapped. Like I knew you for years and didn't know about the storyboarding thing, and didn't even know till we were doing MegaCon that you were kind of a big deal because people are like, oh yeah, no, he's storyboarded for. I'm like, okay, number one, don't know what that is. Number two, really? Yeah, I'm out here every weekend telling jokes that I wrote, and this guy's drawing cartoons, and he's the big hit at MegaCon right now. This is ridiculous. And you know what I've started to realize about MegaCon? MegaCon is the exact opposite of how you grew up as a child. Like when I grew up, my mom made all my costumes for me every year, and every year I get laughed at because they're like, look at that guy, you can't even afford a store-bought costume, you know? And MegaCon is exactly the opposite. Like if you pay someone $2,500 to make you a working Iron Man costume, you get there, people are like, look at the doofus that paid for his costume.
You paid for that?
This guy made his recycled milk cartons in finger paint. Oh, I want to get my picture with him. It's flipped it 180.
The more work, the better.
Yeah.
And it can be shitty, and some people still like it.
That's it. That's it. They just appreciate the effort. Also, could we just please never have another Deadpool at MegaCon? Like,
oh no, there's 1,000 of them.
There's thousands. They do the Deadpool parade around there.
They do it like a conga line.
Yeah, I like the guys. Like, I'm actually proud of my 4-year-old because for Christmas, all he wanted was a Red Lantern costume.
Yeah, which was weird. It's such a weird.
He's evil, dude. He's evil.
And because that's not really a popular character.
It's not at all.
Well, I mean, in the nerd world it is, but like in the media, it's not popular.
But I'm proud of them because those are like the guys at MegaCon. When you see someone that in a costume that you didn't even think of, like.
You get nerd points for that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So he's 4 and he's already picking up on stuff, and like that was actually
How the hell do you know about Red Lanterns?
Well, his older brother's into Green Lanterns, and there was a series with the Red Lantern.
I was like, there's not even like a movie out. I mean, maybe in the cartoons, maybe I don't know about. But.
And actually, I put it out to Facebook like, hey, do any of my cosplay if people have an opinion? And for a while, I was thinking of going with like. The Incredibles, getting him like one of those.
The red suit?
Yeah, the red suit, and then figure out a logo. And then someone said, just go with the Deadpool bodysuit. So yeah, Deadpool did come in handy. I got him like a Zentai suit they actually had in his size for like a 4-year-old. And then I ordered a car decal that they had of the Red Lantern on eBay. I found a guy who does those. And then I got it, and rather than slap it on a car, I put it on like black craft foam and cut it out, and then like velcroed it down to the chest piece. And I gotta tell you, I'm pretty proud of it. It came out like you can check out my Facebook. There's some pictures on
there.
You're
happy.
It looks pretty amazing. Oh, he was ecstatic, dude, because you know when we see a character he likes or they like, we go online looking for the costume, and there wasn't one. So we had looked all over. So it was just in his head that it didn't exist and he wasn't going to get one. And there's nothing better. It's like the Red Ryder BB gun type thing, you know, when you can get them that one thing they want.
Your kid dresses up as evil and you take him to a Christian school.
Yeah, and I think he wore it once. So he wore it like all Christmas Day though. Like we drove 2 hours south to see my parents, and he would not get out of this one piece.
This one piece
Zentai,
Red
Lantern. Yeah,
he's just mean mugging everybody.
That was cool, and yeah, it was a good Christmas this year. But so I'm excited. I love going to MegaCon. We always do the shows, the Geeks of Comedy out there.
Comedy, yeah.
And we
always did the roast.
Yeah, we did the roast a couple of years back. We did a couple of roasts out there, but you know, we always do the stand up and the geek humor. And Kevin White's on board with that. Of course, Patty Hawkins, Vince Taylor's been out there a couple of times. We want to get you in this year. Part of it is, of course, yeah.
I went a little bit too extreme on the Robin.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find that online, though, right? You can find the
costume.
The roast we did at the Improv. The roast
it's
of
on
Batman.
YouTube.
Yeah, on your channel.
Yeah, my channel.
Yeah. If anything, just check out the highlight reel.
Just a highlight reel. It's a 2-hour roast. That was a long roast.
Yeah. We're working on it, but I mean, it was solid. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. Some people had some really good breakout sets, and Ryan Holmes with Batman, and that's always a good
great.
choice. He's
Yeah.
always fun. The thing about Ryan is what he prepares is usually funny, but it's the stuff like him and Jeff Jones, the little sides they have during.
The side notes. Yeah, the side
that's
note,
what makes
the
the roast.
heckling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the heckling or the responses, the rebuttals.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we're trying to figure out what we're going to do this year, but hopefully we'll be back. But that's part of it for me, man. Just the show's fun, the money's good, but then also being able to walk around and just see everybody, costumes and everything like that.
So I think we should talk about what the hell this podcast is, because there's 1,000 of them, and if we're gonna make this work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like the whole reason of this podcast was because everyone's doing it,
That's right.
and everyone has one.
Yeah.
And this is a new way of getting your voice out.
Well, all that.
that.
A good friend of mine who's been in the business several years and makes good money and everything else, yelled at me about a year ago. He's like, how come you don't have a podcast, Mike? And I'm like, everybody has a podcast. He's like, yeah, everybody but you. He's like, it's at that phase now where it's not even an option anymore. It's, when I started out doing comedy, the guys who I looked up to told me things like, never put your stuff online. People are going to steal it.
That shit's
Trying to keep
changed.
all your stuff. And it's the opposite direction now. It's all about putting out weekly content and building up your fan base and everything else. It's so different from the way I learned it. There's guys now who have been in it for years that have already made names for themselves, and they're starting to try and learn how to do the technology side of it. But other ones are just happy where they're at. They're like, thank God I'm not starting now. It's like people in the music business that tell you nowadays they would never get into the music business.
Right.
There's a guy named Anthony Battaglia. He's a local guy, but he's written, like, if you Google his name, he's written and produced so many songs. I mean, he worked with Run DMC, Aerosmith. He had the first recording studio for rock on Broadway in New York City. You know that song by Shinedown, like staring down the barrel of a 45?
Yeah.
He wrote that song, which is weird because he's like 80. And like,
Well, now it makes sense.
but the thing is, I remember being like my late 20s listening to that song, just being like, this guy gets me. And then like, I meet this guy 10 years later and he's like, yeah, I wrote that. And he's like 80 and just, I'm like, wow, that's so weird.
Thanks,
And,
little guy.
but he found Mandy Moore. He discovered Mandy Moore.
What is she up to?
I don't know, but he made a shitload of money off discovering Mandy Moore. And the way he found her was she was recording up in Longwood, actually. She was doing some like recording for a commercial for like some church or something. She was just singing. He happened to walk in and he actually heard her. And I think she was like 14 or 15. And the first thing he said was, how would you like to be a millionaire? It was like one of those Hollywood meeting type stories. And then he sat down and started writing. He wrote that song, like, I'm Missing You Like Candy. He wrote that. So Mandy Moore, that was her.
How's that song go?
I'm missing you. I see what you did there. I can't sing, and you just made. Google it. From now on, every time you try, Google it. That's what you're getting.
Wow.
But yeah,
know
and then
that song.
she actually sued him years later because of course the contract you present, and he told me, he's like, yeah, that happens all the time in the music business. He's like, it's part of it. He's like, I made my money, but he told me, he's like, if I had to go back and start now, I would never be in the business, because now you look at it. Back then, you could control the flow of music, album sales, everything else, and even then, you got a small percent. But now, man, with pirating and everything else, it's like if you put out a hit, you better have 6 more ready to go.
Still pirate music?
People still pirate music? I don't think I've paid for a song in my like.
I mean, you got so many options now.
I know, but and even YouTube picked up on us, because now YouTube does hey, you can pay a monthly fee and not have to hear our commercial breaks. I'm like, nah, I'm good with the commercial breaks. Like you're a DJ. Oh, look, naturally we're on another one of your skills. You're a DJ, right?
Yeah, part-time.
Part-time, but I mean, how much of your job now is just looking up videos online compared to back when you had to do what? The mix, squiggy,
I
whatever.
still do the mix, Eric. I still do all that.
Yeah.
But as far as music goes, man, like I always get requests. I'm like, who? Like, who the hell is that guy? And I'm like, all right. And then I find out that night, like, oh, that's who Little Water Bottle is. Like, I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. And
How is that like a DJ? You put in LIL and it hasn't narrowed it down at all.
No, sometimes I'm just like, I'll just like, oh, okay, I'll play it, and I'll never play it.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? I was like, oh,
Well, I was surprised when I saw your setup. I think you were you were at Fat Fish Blue doing like a after party or something that they had. And I saw your setup, and you're like, and this is where the iPad goes. And I'm like, what? And you plugged it in, the little video screen came up with everything. I'm like, really? Really? Because I remember in 1996 helping Jimmy Jocelyn carrying those milk crates full of records.
Gone. Thank God. I didn't DJ back in the crate time. I DJ'd when it's CDs time, and that sucked too.
Yeah, that's how all DJing should be determined now, like before crate and after crate.
Yeah, I was CD DJ, and I hated it.
And even that you had your big like vinyl folder
you had the
that
folders,
you flip through.
like the big Trapper
I still
Keeper.
got one of those at my house.
And
yeah.
you're just like, oh, shit. And then you don't know, like, if your knowledge is not that great, like if you had like, I don't know, let's say you had a CD of, I don't know, Dr. Dre, and you're trying like, what album? Ah, shit. And there's no internet. So you're just like trying to figure it out and like popping in. Listen.
Yeah, if someone says, the lyrics are like this, you got to go through those little inserts and go, here's the chorus. Yeah.
I hate it.
How many CDs did you buy just so you could get the lyric sheet? Like, what is Kurt Cobain saying?
Yeah, they had a thing called Promo Now or Promo Only. And I would buy those every month. And it was all the hits that come out before the radio play.
Oh, wow.
And I would listen to
So you could be on top.
So I'd be on top, but
not anymore, huh?
Oh, thank God.
Not
Because
anymore.
you're out of the promo now. You spend like $10 or $5, whatever. It'd be like 20 songs, and you only wanted one song. Like you never played the other ones. Like new one from Tom Petty. And like no one's gonna ask for this.
No one's requesting. Tom Petty.
Requesting this.
Poor Tom Petty.
Mambo number 5 it is. Hit it.
1, 2. What are okay? So you do a lot of like weddings and birthday parties and stuff like that. What would you say are the top 3? You know you're gonna play this every time you go somewhere.
Oh, easy. Cupid Shuffle. Yep. The Cha-Cha Slide. And then it's a toss-up between Don't Stop Believing, because that's always an ender.
Greatest song ever.
Or Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And Michael Jackson's always in there, but like that doesn't bother me that much.
What song gets the white folk going?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Are you serious?
You white people love
As
it.
a white folk, I'm
totally
gosh.
You guys
offended.
come out of your skin.
Oh my God! I think that song drove me crazy when it came out.
You guys, it's like a tick, man. You guys cannot not line dance.
It's like the flame to mosquitoes.
It's not even good dancing. You guys just hook arms, you dance in a damn circle.
Oh my gosh!
For a solid 2.5 minutes, that song is.
Oh Jesus! At this portion, I would look. I can't say I agree with anything white people do.
And then Footloose is the top of
you watch your mouth. That's like you just told me Hallelujah was a shitty song. You back off.
You guys
Footloose is our little white infant child. You
hear
back
that
off.
first dumb hook. You
got greatest
Jesus Christ.
hook in all of me. I don't know.
You guys freaking pop out of nowhere.
Now the
like
Cotton Eye
Prairie
Joe I
Dog.
don't see. The Footloose I can get. But
that's
okay,
you guys.
so Latinos. Let's go with Latinos. Hispanics.
Suavemente.
What is it?
Suavemente.
Suavemente. Is that like Rico Suave?
No, was Rico Suave even Hispanic?
Rico.
I think it was just a white guy with a good tan.
Suave. No, you think Carlos Mencia.
Is he? No. I'm like, wait, is he?
Yeah, his real name's like Ned, right?
Really?
Carlos Mencia's real name is Ned.
But he was born in Honduras.
And he's half German or something?
I know that. He's half German, half Mexican. Which
So what is Suave?
Suavemente is just a song.
Is that one where there's like no bridge? It's just constant.
That's every Hispanic song.
Exactly. You guys don't need a wall. You need a bridge in your music.
It sounds like
That's
someone
what you
slamming a
need.
door. And then you just add.
That's what it is because the landlord's knocking. All right. So, well, if anything here, we're biracial.
Yeah.
So let's continue down the list. What do you think the Asians folk listen to?
Let's just say Gundam style.
Well,
I don't know.
Because you don't do anything.
I don't do any Asian.
It's on your business card. You're like, sorry, no Japanese, Korean, South Korean, North Korea, Chinese.
Because Japanese and Chinese, they always have like already a DJ in house, like a 12-year-old.
I'm amazed that there's still a position for you guys. Like these people haven't picked one family member to run. Like
it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. There's always a 12-year-old that could smoke me. on the DJ level. I'm like, okay, that guy's good.
But you're taking the real money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Carlos Mencia. His real name, Ned Arnell Mencia.
Where the hell did Carlos come from?
Mencia was born in San Pedro Sula. Did I say that?
Sounds good to me.
Honduras.
Yeah, Honduras.
The 17th of 18 children. I'm not sure. You can't trust Wikipedia.
Wait, say
I'm
again?
just reading this off.
17 of the 18?
17th of 18 children.
Damn, mom be fucking.
His mother was Mexican. His father, Roberto Holness, was Honduran.
Where did German come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I could have sworn there was something about German in his background.
He'd been to Germany.
I don't know. Maybe he was part of the Nazi movement or something. I forget. Okay, so that's what we got so far. So let's see. We went over white folk. We went over Latinos. We went over Asian.
How the hell did we even get into the... let's
we were talking about... No. We can't not ask, what do black people like?
Oh, Cupid Shuffle. That's automatic.
How's that go?
You know, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right.
So it's like the electric slide, just updated?
But like with more style and flow.
Well, excuse me.
it's a lot more groovy.
Yeah, it is. Who sings it?
That black guy.
Wow, we were doing such fine of just respecting
like,
all cultures.
He looks like Skilo. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name.
So did you have something? What was it? Not last week. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I was booked at the Bonkers in Port Orange. Porthole Bar in Port Orange. It sounds like a gay bar. It's not.
It's not.
And I had asked you to host, and you said yes, I'd love to. And then the weekend came. You're like, oh, I can't do Saturday because I forgot I had DJ. So I had to have you host on Friday. Vinny Burgess, I believe, Vinny Santino, came in on Saturday and hosted.
I felt bad.
But, you felt bad, but you told me how much you were getting paid for Saturday. I'm like, yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah.
But at a gig like that, like, what do you do? What was it? Was it a birthday or was it?
Oh, it's easy. It was a 50th birthday. It was at not Dave & Buster's, main event.
A 50-year-old had a
birthday party at main event.
And that's like I haven't been over there
Main
yet.
event's pretty much a Dave & Buster's. Okay. It's exactly with a bowling alley.
Oh, okay.
And then he had a room. He rented our room with catering, and they just had me play. I barely played. I got paid just to have background music.
Mm-hmm. Wow. How are you gonna feel about this? You want to know who the Cupid Shuffle, who sings it?
Yeah, it's a bald head guy. That's all I know.
Yeah, by Cupid.
That's his name?
Yeah, he named the shuffle after himself.
Oh, well then.
It seems like you should have figured that out.
I should have known that.
I should have said, who sings that? And you should have been like, Cupid, idiot, you know? And instead you're like, I really don't know. I play it all the time. It's the most requested song, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's second most requested?
For,
like, you got to know your audience, so.
It depends on the audience. Yeah, I was going to say, it depends on the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the audience. Mm-hmm. Like, I always play Montel Jordan. Mm-hmm. This is how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
he had a great talk show for a long time.
No, that's Montel Jordan. No, you're thinking about who you are. You're not thinking about the right. What the hell is his name? That had the talk show.
Montel. The talk show's name was Montel.
But his last name wasn't Jordan, was it?
I don't know.
He was bald.
Montel Williams, I believe, was Montel Williams.
Yeah.
He was the Tough Love talk show host. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Montel Jordan. He made me question myself.
Yeah, it's easy when you didn't know who sang the Cupid Shuffle.
Nah, nobody really. Names. I guarantee you, most people don't know that.
Yeah.
I guarantee that. But yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, just a Cupid Shuffle, and then like a DMX will slide in there. Montel Jordan. If you depending on the crowd, you can go Earth, Wind, Fire. Mm-hmm. The Whispers, all that stuff.
What song do you never play?
Gundam Style. I refuse to play that song. So if I get hired for an Asian party, I'm not playing that damn song.
But let's be honest. It's usually a white guy right after Con Eye Joe going, you all got Gangnam Style.
And they always do this.
Yeah, because they know how to ride horses. If they're dancing to Con Eye Joe, then the dance isn't that much different for Gangnam. They just basically want to ride imaginary horses.
When I play it. It's horrible.
And then are you one of those hacky guys that plays closing time at the end of every set?
Oh,
Are
no.
you like a kid from the 90s
I
with
play
an
Last
acoustic
Dance.
guitar?
Last Dance for Love. Yeah, that song. I played that
See,
one.
I hate that song because you ever see that show Cold Case Files? What they would do is it was about this team that would go dig up cold cases. The show itself was done great because like they would do these transpose type things where you see like, okay, it's present day, but then when they start investigating, there's a swipe. And like the actor that's like 50 now is 20 when the swipe happens. And like they do all the, everything that was going on in the 70s and everything else. But there was a disco one where they were solving like someone who had killed a bunch of guys in a disco fire. And that was like at the end, you see the two people who died dancing to that song. Like they found each other in the afterlife. So now whenever I hear that, I'm just like, dead people.
Dead people.
I see dead people. That's what happens. I see dead people in fire.
I haven't DJ'd in a while, actually. Well, besides that one.
Yeah.
I haven't actually DJ'd.
Yeah, because people are figuring out how to plug in their iPhones to speakers.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's funny, too, because like most of the time I'll be DJing and then like someone will be like kind of curious. Like, oh, come here, watch. And I'll teach them. Like, that's it? That's it.
Yeah.
Go buy your stuff and go do my job.
That's it. Yeah, and I don't know what they got out now. Is it Alexa? Is that the thing you talk into, like around your house?
Yeah, you got Google Home and Alexa. And
Google Home and Alexa.
Series.
It just seems like rather than walking up to a DJ and being like, "Hey, can you play this?" It's just like, "Alexa, play Cotton Eye Joe."
I mean, the reason why people hire a DJ because they want that like on the demand. Hit play, boom, songs on, boom, songs on, boom, songs on. They don't. You can't do that with like a playlist. You gotta hit like next. People don't want to do that. People are lazy. People are straight up lazy.
They can spend an hour, program a playlist, press play.
Nope.
No?
They won't do it.
No? They rather pay you.
They rather pay somebody to hit play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say thank you. I say
Yep.
thank you, and I will gladly do it for $100 an hour.
Yep.
And
Nope, screw that. Next event I do, I'm putting in one of those digital jukeboxes you see in bars where people have to pay extra if they want their song played next.
Wait, so you're a bar essentially. You're a freaking jukebox.
Isn't that what weddings are afterwards? It's just open bar.
It's just open bar, and no one cares.
Yeah, and I'm that guy. I'm not rich, but I'll blow an extra buck to make sure I get my song next. You know? I have very little power in this world, but I will skip your song if I get the chance.
Hispanics and white people love DJs. They have a DJ at the party.
Yeah.
House of Pain too. Jump around. You white people lose your shit.
White people love any song where the directions of how to act during that song are in the song. Like we love jump around. You know, you'll see guys standing on opposite sides of the room. Yeah. But when jump comes on, they're like, I know this one. You know, and YMCA. We love the Macarena. Not because they explain it, but because we saw the video enough to know what you're doing.
That song, Shout. You make me wanna shout.
Yeah.
Oh, that song is
a little bit softer
long.
down. That's the white guy move when you start getting down a little bit.
And it's old. It's always an old guy. Everyone corrals around and like cheer him on, and his knees about to explode because he's going too low.
But it's good. You gotta know the longer songs because when you go to a strip club and they're like, "Hey guys, we're doing 2-for-1 dances. The next 2 songs."
Play Shout.
That's it. I go to Paradise by the Dashboard Light. American Pie. I mean, that's 30 minutes. The girl's breaking a sweat.
Free Bird.
You know, because if you don't have control of the songs, then they're playing these little techno things that last like 40 seconds.
They probably have techno songs now, too, the songs that you demand just because of assholes like you.
Assholes like me are bargain hunters. I'm looking for a deal.
It's $5, sir. It's a $5 dance.
Okay.
And it's Tuesday.
All I'm saying is if I'm paying for the songs, I'm picking the songs. That's how it is. But so this happened. I got offered a gig at a theater back in July or June, actually, the end of June. And I took it, and they're like, "Hey, here's the pay, here's the date, here's the time. We'll throw in a hotel. It's down south." I'm like, "Sure, great." And then this week, I get a contract from them stating, "Okay, here's everything we talked about. Oh, by the way, the venue takes 20% of your merch sales."
Damn.
And I wrote back, no. And they're like, "What do you mean no? That's standard." I'm like, "No, I've been doing this professionally for 10 years, and I've never." And I understand some venues do it, but here's how I get around it. Number one, I don't take those gigs. because you tell me at the beginning that's the deal, and I say, hey, I appreciate the offer, but that's not for me, you know. And or I'll do this where I'm like at the venue, I'm like, hey guys, the venue, if I let you buy it here, it's going to cost this much, so here, just take my card and do it online, you know. And the booker got back to me. He's like, well, that's just standard and everything else. I'm like, okay, well then where do I pick up my 20% of the door and my 20% of whatever liquor sales there are that night? He's like, well, that's ridiculous. I'm like, now you're getting it. You know, here's the thing I hate. I understand that some venues charge a percent or want a percent of the merch, but most of the time that's for big name acts who are selling out, getting 80% of the door, and then they're making their money off merch, and they're not even there to sell their merch. What we're getting paid usually at my level is a flat rate.
Yeah, because you don't get door deals, do you?
No.
Yeah.
And when you give me that rate, I factor in merch as part of my pay for that evening. So when you give me, hey, we want you to come perform this much time for this much dollars, I'm like, okay, well, that covers my traveling, my this and that. Yeah, that's the other thing. These big namers, big timers, they're getting travel allowance and everything else, which they should. Right. They should. But I hate these venues that are just nickel and diming guys that are just like trying to make a living. Like, dude, really, you need 20%? And the other thing is they don't even want 20% of my profit. They want 20%, including what I paid for the merch. I'm like, yeah, it's ridiculous. So for those of you guys listening, I, like many comics, count on our merch money as part of our pay for the night. So when you see someone doing this kind of crap, especially when they don't broach it to you at the beginning, they wait 6 months. It's the week of, and they're telling me this. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but then I was talking to another comic on the way in tonight, and it turns out there's a new club starting out in Kissimmee, and he was reading the contract, and this new club is putting in that they want a percentage. And we're talking about a shitty little bar show. Yeah. We're just talking about a shitty little bar show. Really? Really? You're not giving these guys hotels. You're booking all local acts.
It's Kissimmee.
You're paying a flat rate. You're making money. You're making money at the bar and the door. And now you're going to fucking steal from the comics too? It's just ridiculous, man. So I just want to take a second to say, like, thank you to all the venues who see merch for what it is, as the comics write and a little bit of extra money in their pockets. I mean, there's some comics who, like me, when I was featuring, I couldn't afford to go on the road unless I had my merch pay. Right. You know? So it's like, that's why I tried to explain to this booker, too. Like, hey, if I had known you were going to do this, I would have asked for a higher flat rate for the night, knowing I was losing money on that end of things.
Damn, that's a big cut, too, man.
Yeah, it is. And you're not even, they had said, oh, well, it's 10% if you're selling CDs and 20% if you're selling anything else. Why? Why is that? It costs a lot less to make a $10 CD than it does to sell, stuff I sell. Yeah,
So I'm clearly you're not doing the gig.
I have no choice. The other thing is it's this week, so you put me in a barrel where I can't not work this weekend,
So you got to do it.
Yeah, plus the other thing is I've worked with this booker quite a lot, and I like him. So he works different venues. He does one... But this is something I feel like should have been addressed at the beginning, at the booking, And I've worked with this guy enough that, you get a call, hey, this is the rate and everything else. Why would I assume it's going to be different from the other gigs we've done together,
Damn, they got you.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do because you know me, I'm kind of petty and I always manage to fuck up somehow. But, I've toyed with the idea of just being like, hey, this is the price for this is the price for this. And when they get to the table, I'm like, okay, well, this is my price, and then you owe that guy, But they don't want you to say that. You don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that to people buying merch for me. I don't want to price it over what it's worth.
Right, because, oh, man.
I don't want them to go on my website and find out they could have got it for cheaper with shipping and handling. But at the same time, it's easier to say, go to my website. But a lot of our merch is impulse buys. They either get at the show or they're not going to get it. Like, I do online sales, but it's nothing like,
what you do at a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of disappointing, man.
That sucks. And
but
you still gotta do it.
I would love to hear.
That's a weekend?
That's this weekend. Yeah.
So,
it's only one show though.
Oh.
And that's the crappy part too. It's like it's a Friday night show, but I've had this on my schedule for 6 months. It's a theater, it's a nicer area.
Yeah.
But if I cancel, it's like, well, this took a whole weekend. You don't book anything. You try to find a Saturday night nearby so you can make it worth it. But I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do it. But, that's it. And hopefully, just with this specific booker. Now it's like, dude, you know how I feel about this. And that's why I hate, too. There's bookers out there that are like, hey, man, you know you're going to sell a ton of merch. And they use that as a way to get you. Like, hey, man, we're not paying that great, but you know you'll sell a ton of merch here because they buy. And that's fine. But when those gigs get canceled and the booker's like, oh, well, I'm still going to send you, the money, which is great when it happens. More often than not, they just don't pay you. They're like, oh, it got canceled. We can't pay you. But when they build you up for a gig like, hey, you're going to sell this much merch, and then the gig gets canceled, and they don't go, hey, we're going to send you extra money for the merch you would have sold.
Man, they effed you.
Yeah, but, that's the thing with this booker now. Maybe now this is just a conversation like, hey, man, just so you know, it's either going to have to be a higher flat rate for the night or just don't book me in these places.
So why don't you just show up and, like, I don't know, just be like a real dick with all your fire merch. Like, I will burn this bitch down.
Because it's that interesting thing where we're not talking about one venue. We're talking about this guy works me for other stuff. So it just kind of sucks. Yeah. But that's it. So I got that coming up this weekend. And I'm still excited about doing the show. There's some really good people on the show and stuff. So.
And it's in a theater, right?
Yeah, it's a theater down in Miami.
Cool.
And yeah.
Is Miami a hard room to do? Miami?
It
seems like it would be.
I've come to find it's all Miami. It's like when you say New York, man. It's like people say Miami, they automatically think South Beach, but you got
that's what I did.
Yeah, you got so many areas outside there, and I think it's a good point. Like anytime as a comic you're traveling somewhere that you really haven't performed much, there's always like, especially out of state. I'm always going, I wonder if I'm going to play well in Iowa, and then you realize people are people, man. It's
I just picture South Beach, and then outside South Beach, just cocaine and crime. Like, I don't picture anything.
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. So it's like South Beach, and then what's outside?
Yeah.
Crime.
Yeah.
And a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. How about you, man? How's the gym been going this week?
Gym's cool.
Oh, and yet another thing is that is there anything you don't do? So far we've hit on, let's see, you do comedy.
Yeah.
You try to do comedy. You do, you're doing this comic book stuff you're working on, right? You also have, of course, DJing.
That's a hobby, but yeah.
Yeah. You got Cupid Shuffle on
Cupid
speed
Shuffle
play
on speed dial.
Yeah. And then, your full-time job is, of course,
martial arts instructor.
Martial arts instructor.
Yeah. I've been doing martial arts for over like 25 years. Mm-hmm. I got a business with my father, and we've been running it together for 15 with my sister.
Oh, wow.
So it's a family business, 15 years.
What age groups do you do?
I teach kids from the ages of 4 and ages of until they're taller than me. And then
so 4 to 5.
4 to 5. I'm not getting my ass whooped by no fucking 5-year-old. No, we just do 4 and up. 4 and up. Yeah. So we do 4 and up, and we do martial arts, traditional martial arts, and then kickboxing, and do tournaments and all that stuff. It's fun, fitness and personal trainer, blah blah blah.
Right. And do you got? I know you said last time we were talking. Is there a big fight coming into town, or did that happen?
It happened. It was a guy. His name's Jakar. He was training at I guess like a sister or brother gym that I train at and teach at. And he destroyed that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did it go past the first round?
It ended in the first round.
Oh, they called it.
Kicked him in the head. I think he lost memory.
Wow.
And then he walked up to the guy like Terminator and punched him like maybe 5 times in the face. And then the ref called it. Yeah, I'll show you the video. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the guy's name that was fighting?
Jakar. J-A, then C-A-R-E. He's a Brazilian.
So maybe you can put a link to that if we end up putting this up.
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never fought with him. I just made him, and that's it. But
that was the guy you said. There's a gym over at
West Oaks Mall.
West Oaks Mall.
Yeah.
And half of the training is trying to make it from your car into the West Oaks Mall.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a rough neighborhood. Once you get there, it's like that. There's no gym inside. That was just
if you can make it out of your car and get in the gym, yeah, you're good. It's rough, but the food court's amazing though.
Yeah. Like I always love the food courts that have like Asian chow and then Chinese connection, and then it's all the same. Panda Express. It's the same exact. Like you've seen people.
Not West Oaks.
No.
West Oaks will even have a McDonald's in it.
What?
It's all like mom and pops
Oh, is it? It's like food trucks, but in the
It's
mall?
like food trucks in the mall. They don't have one name brand.
It's like my truck got repoed, and this is where we moved the stuff.
I was around when West Oaks opened up first, and they had a chicken fillet.
Yeah,
they
I
had a
remember
Panda
going.
Express,
That's first
McDonald's,
Panda Express I went to
all
was at the
gone.
West Oaks Mall.
Subway gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's all like Mama D's soul food
Yeah.
and Ching Chong Chinese food. That's so
Yeah.
racist.
I
Oh my
remember
God.
they used to have the carousel in there. When you
That's
walked
still
in the
there.
street.
That's the
But the
only-
horses left. They're like, it's just poles now.
Poles
It just poles
and that bench and nobody
it
sits
just
on.
poles and like if you go there at 9:00 on Friday, you'll see some girls dancing for tips and their father's approval.
That mall's only surviving because of movie theater.
Yeah, the movie theater.
That you don't go at nighttime.
Oh man, I saw what was it? I saw Sleepy Hollow there when it came out. That's how old I
$4
am.
matinee.
I'm Sleepy Hollow old. That's it.
What year was that? 90?
Oh man, that was 90.
No,
That
it
was
2000?
99. That was 99,
2000,
2000.
okay. Yeah,
And you know
2000.
what I just found out? Roy
Ray Parker?
Ray Parker was the headless horseman in that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I believe so. And I actually met him when he was doing Star Wars Weekend.
I got some stories about Ray Parker. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about Ray Parker. Well,
Yeah.
Ray Parker.
Ray Parker.
Ray Parker. I always want to call him Roy. I don't know why.
I think he's French or Canadian.
Yeah.
One of the two.
He was a pretty cool guy.
He's a
when I met him.
stand-up
He's just
guy.
nice.
I
And
know.
what else?
Yeah.
You did Toad and X-Men,
He did
right?
Toad. He did
Darth Maul.
Maul.
What else was he?
He was a Power Ranger, I believe.
Was he just for like?
I think he did. Yeah, he did. He's one of those guys, man, that like you don't realize. Oh, Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe.
That's the one we keep forgetting about.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, man. They don't talk, put on this makeup and mask. Okay.
He's really good at that.
He's really
but
good, but
you
man.
gotta admit his martial arts.
It's on point.
It's on point.
Yeah.
And who was the man? Who was the guy that played Spawn?
Oh man, I think it's Michael something. Michael Che.
I don't. You mean the guy that does the news desk
And
at
SNL?
SNL?
Yeah.
I don't think that was him.
I forgot. But I know who you're talking about.
But
He's a badass.
I
too.
saw him in. I think it was some movie called Brother Bones or something like that.
He done a lot of those movies where like it'll never make it to.
He was like a
mainstream.
black Steven Seagal. He
Yeah.
just did a ton of martial arts movies. But man, his were like he's Jackie Chan level crazy, dude.
You ever watch him on Black Dynamite?
No, I don't
You
think
never
I've
seen
ever
Black
seen Black
Dynamite?
Dynamite. No.
Oh, such a good movie. And they're coming out of the part 2.
Really?
It's so good.
I can't. Now I gotta catch up. Now I gotta see it. Let's see. Ray Park.
Ray Park.
Ray Park.
Is it Ray Park or Ray Parker?
Ray Park. Just
Okay.
Ray Park. You made it too complicated. He was in Heroes,
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe,
Yep.
X-Men,
I don't know what the hell he was in here.
Mortal Kombat, Annihilation.
That was the one that nobody watched.
Oh, was it? That makes
Yeah.
sense. So he was in a bunch of stuff. But
I met him at a convention in Atlanta called Dragon Con.
mm-hmm.
And Dragon Con is just pretty much a big nerd festival where everyone likes to get together, dress up, and get drunk.
Right.
That's pretty much the goal for that. There's no really like, and then you got your panels, whatever. But there's not even that anymore. It's just an excuse to dress up and get drunk as adults.
That's right. And didn't you tell me what was he doing there? Was he just signing?
He's just
stuff?
signing autographs because he's Darth Maul.
Right.
But
one of his other jobs was he was a stunt double or a stunt coordinator for.
So he was a stunt double for Van Damme, for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Like you had that.
I
Like
had
anyone else was like, which Van Damme?
Jean-Claude Van Damme, the one that does the splits.
And there was a rumor going around.
There's
or
a
something.
rumor flying around that Jean-Claude Van Damme, when he was in his heyday, he did a lot of cocaine. Like
I don't think that's a rumor. I think that can be stipulated.
I think that's
fact.
actually on YouTube. There's a documentary. He would do like an 8-ball a day. Well, somehow Ray Parker ended up in his hotel, and there's a bunch of hookers or half naked women, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is doing katas or like forms, like karate forms,
Yeah.
butt naked,
Just butt naked. Dong swinging around with every stance
throwing a
change.
side kick. and Ray Park was in there watching this.
Uh-huh.
It is a rumor. He was watching it though, and every time he tried to leave, Van Damme would be like, "Is that a good form?" And he would he would stop him from leaving. So I knew about this, and I met him at DragonCon, and by sheer luck, I hang out with these guys named Box and John, 2 bodybuilders, and they were real close buddy with Ray Park. And we went out, we're drinking all night and having fun, and then we're at a diner like at 4 a.m, and I just asked him. I was like, "Hey, is it true that blah, blah, blah?" And he didn't say yes or no. He just looked at me and gave me like that nod and went back to eating his fucking And I was like, "Yeah, you saw his dick."
Yeah. Because that's one of those stories where no matter how many times someone asks you, you're still going to be like, "No, I didn't see the man's dick."
Yeah.
But like if you did, that's definitely a story rather than you get tired of saying yes, you just go, you know.
That's one of those stories you got to chip away at him every year. So was there a lot of cocaine in there? Is there a lot of, you just keep chipping away?
It was, by the way, Michael Jai White.
I see. I was close.
Michael Jai White. Yeah, that's what you went with. But you know what else you did? The name of the movie I was thinking of.
Spawn, Black Dynamite.
Yeah. Blood and Bone was the one where I first saw him besides Spawn. Blood and Bone was the first one. And that actually came out after The Dark Knight, where he played Gamble. He played one of these, like one of the henchmen, I guess.
Okay.
Or not henchmen, like one of the main mob bosses. And I don't know. I mean, I get that he's an actor, but I can't see him being in a movie and not using his martial arts. That just seems like a waste. Man. He's so, dude, he's crazy good. Like the movie I watched, that Blood and Bone, was just a horrible. It was like such one of those plot lines, like, oh, he's come back to save his, whatever. But, my brother got caught up in an underground fight or whatever it was. Yeah. It was so predictable. But the movie, he was just so good in it that you're like, man, I'm just going to keep watching because this guy's just a total
He's in another
badass.
movie called, I think it's Undisputed or Undefeated. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, he also played Jax in Mortal Kombat Legacy.
He was actually skinny in that movie.
Yeah? He was a tiny little guy?
Yeah, he's giant now.
Yeah. Oh, so this came up. I came home last night. And there was I don't know if I told you, Aiden's doing like Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts now on Thursdays. And there was
He's a Weeblo?
There was the, I'm going to let that slide. There was the box, and I guess they're doing the Pinewood Derby thing. You know that? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Where they give you a block of wood and like 4 wheels, and
you gotta
do them down the track.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough that my grandfather was one of those guys who his whole basement in Connecticut was like a wood shop. And if he didn't have a tool, he would make a tool that he needed. Like, that's how good
your grandfather's inventor.
Dude, he like, it was ridiculous. Like, what was his name? Bob Vila, this old house, would probably call my grandfather with questions. Like, hey, how do you do this? But my grandfather was there to help me when we did, like, the regatta, like the sailing. Sometimes we did boats. Sometimes he had everything. He would just be like, and he wasn't one of those, grandfathers or fathers that did all the work for you. He would make you lose a finger because you'll appreciate your work more. It's like, that's great. But I've been in Cub Scouts 7 years. I only got 3 fingers left, And, but Aiden doesn't have that. Aiden has me. So right now we have a block of wood.
You're not wood shop
And I brought it up to him today. I don't have all the tools and stuff. Like, dude, I spent an hour looking for a flathead screwdriver in my house, And,
doesn't it hurt your man card a little bit?
A little bit, but like I asked him today, I was like, "Hey, buddy, when's this Pinewood Derby thing?" And he's like, "Saturday," and that sounds like a world away, but when you look at your schedule, you're like, "Holy shit, we gotta knock this thing out now." So like, I had gone online last night because I figured I was gonna get faced with this project.
You went down the rabbit hole.
I went down, dude. Do you know there's people that take this shit way too seriously?
No, it's a lifestyle. What are you talking about?
Dude, not only is it a lifestyle.
You're not even on the level of a box.
We don't stand a chance. It's all like Major League Baseball, dude. Like there's people hollowing out their cars, filling them with weight and putting wood putty in.
You have no idea what you got yourself into.
They sell. For those of you who don't know what the Pinewood Derby is, the axles are actually little finishing nails and little plastic wheels. You know what they sell online? People modify these. They put a bend in them at like 2.5 degrees so that the wheels are like, those stupid cars? You probably own one, you're Hispanic. Those stupid cars you see on the road where the axles, they look like
inverted?
Because,
they
calibers are so that there's less traction, less friction. They're up on. They sell those so that you can put those on your Pinewood Derby cars, so that your wheels are the bare minimum of contact, and then they tell you how to do it so one of your wheels doesn't even touch. Like, so if you're looking at the car, it looks like a ganked up car or something like that. But the truth is, they're like, all the Victors are the ones that have it so that only 3 wheels are making contact. And they had some scientists go through and tell you how to fix your. I'm like, dude, remember when it was just like everybody, you pounded the fucking wheels on, you threw it on the track. Yours was painted like a dinosaur. You won, lost, you had a good time. That's not even it. And the thing is, I feel horrible because I'm like, buddy, even if we do everything right, there's a whole league of people who spend their whole year figuring out how to rig this system.
Man, you better get that speech ready that not everyone's winners. And
dude, he's a hurley. He understands not everybody's winners. He grew up in a world of not everybody winning. You know the thing with my mentality? You know how winners are created? It's a habit. You win once, you win again, you win again. My whole life has just been, I'm not going to win. So why bother? Like that's the attitude I've had my whole life. Success does not happen for us.
You have a black cloud, man. That's going on.
It's not even. It's just one of those things. Like my dad, all the time, whenever something horrible happened to our family, he's like, "It's the Hurley luck." It's like, how can you even call that luck?
It's the Hurley
when
luck.
Good things happen to me, it takes me a minute to process it. I'm like, wait a minute, are you sure this is right?
It is what it is.
Are you sure this is right? When bad things happen, I'm just used to it. I never expect anything to go well.
Well, that's why you're getting 20% ripped out of your merch this week.
Yeah. That's okay. I was doing some writing with someone the other day, and they're like, hey, let's do this list, write 10 things about yourself, okay? And then write 10 things you like. But I heard him say, write 10 things you like about yourself. So I wrote 10 things about myself, and then I went to write 10 things I like about myself, and I couldn't get past 2. And like the second one was my friends, but I couldn't even do that honestly. I put in parentheses for the most part. Yeah, like the only thing I had up there was like my sons, and then I had number 2 was my friends, then parentheses, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lie on this piece of paper for the most part. And then I see other people like jotting down. I'm like, holy shit, look at the egos on these fucks. They're all right through 10. And then he corrected me. He's like, no, it was just 10 things you like in general. I'm like, man. That I can do. And even that I got to like 7. So I understand why it's hard to Christmas shop for me. But like, now that I know there's nothing I like about myself, I can honestly tell people, like, I like you about as much as I like myself. Yeah.
I'm glad to do the podcast with you then.
Yeah, well, I think I've told you this before. I've put off doing one of these for a long time.
Yeah.
And when I thought about all the people I would like to do a podcast with, you were the only one that said yes. So,
is that how I got this wonderful
That's
gig?
how you got the gig.
Hey.
That's how you're always smiling. You're optimistic. I figure it'd be a good yin to yang.
He knows how to do flyers too, so let's just get him on there.
Yeah, don't think I didn't notice you're at the Improv with Carmen Morales again and saw. Anytime you see Kermit on a show, you see a flyer with Kermit on the show, look and see if you see a frog logo. If you see a frog logo anywhere on that flyer, 100% chance that's why he's on that friggin' show.
100% chance why I'm on that show.
That's right. If you see a frog logo without Kermit's picture, he got paid cash for that flyer.
But is he good at comedy? Hey, the flyer's amazing. All right, let's.
It is a good flyer. It is.
It's actually a good one. I like that one. That one came out nice. But yeah.
So I don't know, and he's also selling these like. When I was a kid, we sold candy bars and stuff in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. And my dad would other people would set up outside grocery stores. And my dad's like, idiots. He's like, they just went in. They spent a ton of money on food. They're not buying shit coming out. My dad would take us and set us up outside a church. He would make us wear our crosses. We would sell candy bars outside the church as mass was letting out. When people are in the whole, oh, God, give, and blah, blah, blah.
Actually smart.
Yeah. And he also, this isn't even a lie, he set us up outside of Weight Watchers in Manchester, Connecticut, where the women go
Selling
in.
Candy?
Selling candy? He set
savage.
us up outside Alcoholics Anonymous one night.
No.
Oh, yeah. Dude, those people can't drink. They're looking for a fix.
Holy shit.
My dad will tell you location.
It's like the Girl Scouts that are selling Girl Scout cookies outside the weed dispensers. Have you seen that?
Are they really?
Yeah, the genius. They're racking
That
money.
is so smart. That is so
It's in
smart.
Colorado.
But now he came home the other day and he has a stack of these. They sell coupon, like laminated coupon type things where it's like $5 off here, $5 off. And it's a good deal. It's like only $5. And like if you use one of the coupons, you make your money back. But I'm just like,
Oh, it's like a coupon saver or whatever, like a card.
yeah, it's like a laminated
Yeah, I got
card.
one of those.
Yeah. It looks like your gym workout key tag or something
Yeah,
like
and it
that.
has like you can get like 10% off this and blah blah.
Yeah. And then you go online and you realize most of these places are already giving those discounts in one way or
Yeah,
another
it is.
anyways. But
I mean, it's nice to see that you can get a free Coke.
yeah, but I think Sonny's Barbecue actually has like a $5 off thing. So I'm like, yeah, well, there you go. If you eat out once,
You go to
make,
Sunny, yeah.
which I do. I like barbecue, and Sonny's isn't bad.
Let's not talk about what you like to eat. Your diet is horrendous.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Oh, here's another. Are you sure you're not like Haitian? You have like 62 jobs, man. What the hell is this? But yeah, you're actually a certified.
Yeah, personal trainer.
Yeah.
Not nutrition though.
yeah.
Nutrition is I'm not.
Ke-
Don't eat shit.
Yeah.
Because you're nutritionist.
Kevin and I were in Cocoa Beach this weekend, and during the day we stopped by Publix to pick up some stuff, and they got the scale, and that's the only scale I trust, the Publix Toledo
That thing
scale.
is never accurate, by the way, but okay.
You know the only reason they're I live out by the airport, and you'd be surprised. No one actually weighs themselves. They just bring their luggage. All the people ready to fly out bring their
shit.
luggage
That's
there
smart.
to weigh
I
it.
didn't know that.
Yeah, because I guess if it's over 50 pounds, it's an extra
You gotta
fee or
pay,
something like
yeah.
that. But yeah, dude, this is the first time in my life I am within like 5 pounds of hitting 200. I've never been that in my life. And I used to be so scrawny that I wanted to be fat. Like when I was going to the gym every day,
Yeah.
I couldn't get any bigger. Like I was toned, but I couldn't get bigger. And I was like, I just want to be like fat. And I got this like, that swollen belly. Like I wish I was fat. There's some guys that are fat and it's all through their body and they're like, oh, he's a big guy. But it's like with me, it's just like I look like E.T. It's just like I'm carrying it all right here.
Are you going to change it up?
I won't even take off my shirt at the beach unless I have the kids there because the kids are like a prop. Like I'm not, they say dad bod's hot, but dad bod's hot only if you're a dad, maybe. If I was
famous.
Yeah, if I was at the beach by myself. And that's the other thing. How come if you're like a woman and you get a little heavy set, they're like, look how brave she is. But if you're like a pasty, middle-aged guy taking off your shirt, you're like, I just want to be like,
put it back on.
Maybe I should just tattoo brave across my belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag brave.
Hashtag brave. I just want to be okay with
Are you
my
going
body.
to change it up this year?
I keep saying that. Like I got a gym membership last year, and I paid the extra to be able to bring someone with me every time.
Okay.
And the guy I was bringing with me to be my like incentive workout buddy quit after like 2 weeks.
You can't rely on that shit, man.
But then he went on to do an audition for Weight Watchers in Miami, and now they're paying him to go to another gym and sending him all the supplements so they can do the before and after stuff with him.
Shitting me?
I kid you not.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's the way things work out for some people because they're not Hurleys. They have that kind of luck. Like I think as long as he goes through the program, they've paid for his gym, they paid for all his meals, and I think he still gets like $15,000 or something if they end up using him.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
I know who it is too. I know exactly who it is. I didn't realize you guys were competition.
And he's one of those guys. Everything always just kind of works out. He's one of those guys that just goes
bitch.
through life. You're kind of envious because he's just like.
hat.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, damn. Well, I mean, you still got time. We still into January. You can.
I want to lose. Fittingly, something popped up on Facebook. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it was one of those what your weight should be for your age and your height and everything else. And I'm a good 50 pounds over what I need to be. And I'd like to lose it just for me. I really would because I'm tired. I'm tired of doing this. I'm a short guy. Like I'm 5'7", and you're what?
That's tall for me, but okay.
But what are you? 5'5"?
Okay.
5'4"?
Okay.
5'3"? Where are you at?
I'm 5'2", I think.
You're 5'2". All right. So automatically, clothes don't fit us. Period.
Well, they do at Walmart.
Yeah. Well, like, all your stuff says Oshkosh Bagosh. It's like.
Snug.
But yeah. So automatically, when I go in to get a shirt, anything that fits like for a dress shirt is already like a dress. It goes down because it's meant for 6 foot tall people. But now it's even worse because like I'm slim fit up by the shoulders,
right?
But I'm like it's all tight down here, and like if I give myself any more leeway, then all of a sudden I'm swimming in it up here, and like they need like maternity clothes for men because that's what I need. I need like small.
You
up
want a
here
muumuu? Is that what you want?
They're so comfortable. I just don't want to be the guy wearing sweatpants and polos on stage, you know?
Oh, dude, if you go into that level, it's over.
Yeah, no, it's all done.
If you're doing comedy in sweatpants.
Was it Bill Burr who said it once? You know, he's like, come on, guys. When that belly starts going out, they're the first ones to start wearing the blazers. And then, you know, you get to that age where you're wearing the vest and the blazer just to cover up the fact that you gotta.
You have a blazer on at an open mic. Like, what are you doing?
Well, this is where I'm at. I have you seen this M. Taylor app?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, M. Taylor is an app where you from your phone they digitally kind of scan your body, and
cool.
then they sell
weird. Okay,
yeah, they sell jeans, and everything's a bit pricey because it's supposed to be their thing is we're 20% more accurate than a tailor.
Okay,
so here I am about to spend $89 on a friggin' one shirt rather than just go, you know, if I hit the gym for 3 weeks, I can fit back in Van Heusen again, you know, slim fit, 15.5 neck, 32, 33 sleeves. But instead I'm working my way around the system. You know what I got right now? Like, check this out. Because I'm a 35 waist right now.
Okay.
But women, I know you're going to complain, blah, blah, blah. But in jeans, they make 34 and they make 36. Plus, I'm like a 28 length. But guess what? You're lucky if you can find a 20. You know. You're lucky you can find 20.
Exactly what you're talking about.
So if I go up to 36, I have no ass. So automatically it's flat, but you give me that much extra fabric in the back, now I'm really screwed. I look like I'm wearing Jinkos and they're slim fit jeans, you know? And now, so I did this thing now.
What the hell is it?
Yeah.
You have a rubber band connecting...
A hair tie. I have a friggin' hair tie.
Connecting the
to make my own wannabe elastic pants.
Oh, we got to fix this,
yeah,
man.
dude. But you see the steps I've taken rather than just lose 5 pounds?
All right, motherfucker. You need to switch your game.
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
We'll talk about that off.
Maybe that will be it. Like, hey, Mike Hurley here.
That's the eye opener.
First podcast. First podcast. Starting out, weighing in at 192. No, you know what an eye opener is? I did that M. Taylor thing, and they say for the best fit, take off your shirt so they can measure you digitally. And they have you turn around.
Oh, someone has a picture of you naked.
I hope it went to a computer because I've been trying to figure out how to get this one off my phone. Nothing is more disgusting than seeing yourself from every angle when you're at a size you don't like.
What a sucker app.
Yeah.
Your shit's on like on a bootleg tender in India or something.
Yeah, but maybe in one of those countries where fat men equal wealth, I'll be getting some ladies soon.
Yeah, but you're pasty.
Yeah.
No.
But see, I'm not. It's like I go back and forth between being he's really white and he's got olive drab skin. You know how many times I'm at Lowe's and people come up speaking Spanish to me? Like they just expect me to understand. You get in the truck, you go make a couple of bucks, you know?
We got to fix that, man.
Yeah, so here's a starting point. This is a great starting point, I think.
The rubber band thing.
Hairband.
Dude, a hairband. You just jog. Just give me a...
I don't know, because the extra weight on my knees.
All right, the elliptical.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that.
All right, we'll talk about it later.
Freaking.
So if you're listening, maybe if you're starting to listen, start the journey with me today. Go on, because we're not stopping this podcast till I'm down to 150. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, shit, we're going to be on this podcast forever.
There you go. But I need to, man, because, you know, why bother doing all this comedy and taking these acting classes and everything else, and then, you know, you go on an audition, they're like, oh, you're too fat. You know,
you got any fat rolls? No.
Then that's the problem. I'm not fat enough to be like the Billy Gardell character, and I'm not skinny enough to be anyone else.
Yeah.
So you're just right there at that level of you're not even comedically funny. You're just unhealthy, out of shape. You know, who was that guy? They did Knocked Up, and he went on to be in This Is 40. The guy with the black hair.
On Knocked Up.
Not
Seth Rogen, not Jonah Hill.
The one that lost his girlfriend and he was just drunk the whole time. Let's pull up this cast and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's pretty famous. He's in Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd,
I
Ant-Man.
might not picture. Oh, okay, yeah.
Ant-Man, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
That's what I love about you. You won't know an actor until I name a comic book movie
Such
they
a
were
nerd.
in, and you're like, oh yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah. I'm not a nerd. I'm not a nerd. I'm not a nerd.
But during the filming of Knocked Up, they actually went up to him and said, look, the producers have been watching the dailies, and the studio's been watching the dailies, and you need to lose weight. Like, they almost kicked him out of the movie. So if you're watching Knocked Up, you'll see when he goes on, like, the speed dating scene, he's got a little bit of cheek to him and everything else. And then you see him in these scenes beforehand.
No
so
shit.
it really looks just like he got bloated during. And that's Hollywood for you. It's fickle. When you got a guy like Paul Rudd, who's a comedic actor, who's not even taking his shirt off, and like, you're a little bit too big. You know? So that's where I got to get to, man. I just want to get to the point where it's not like my belly and my nipples are like showing when I wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed. So
we'll
come
fix
on the
that.
journey with us.
Yeah.
What you got coming up this weekend? You anywhere?
This weekend I got nothing. Probably just open mics like always. But then next Wednesday I'll be at the Improv with Carmen Morales.
Oh, nice, because you made the flyer.
Because I made the flyer. Marcus Crespo, Heather Shaw, and Fritz Pierre.
Oh, nice. That should be a show.
Should be a fun show.
That should be a show.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Good show. Yeah. I am this Friday night at the South Miami-Dade Cultural Arts Center, and I'm actually bringing Carmen Vallone along with me. And so I'm sure we'll have a big, healthy talk down there. And I hear it's a really nice venue, so I'm looking forward to it. That show starts at 8:30, February 2nd. Tickets are $20. And, yeah, if you want those details, you can go to my website, MikeHerlihy.com. It's MykeHerlihy.com. And also, you can look me up on Facebook. Follow me there. Let's be friends. I have an Instagram. I don't know how to use it. That's another thing we got to work on.
Yeah, I got to help you on that.
Yeah, thanks. And, yeah, what about you? What if people actually wanted to follow you?
If you want to actually follow me, you can find me at all the little social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Kermit L. Gonzalez, or Stand Up Kermit.
What's the L stand for?
That's my middle name.
Yeah, I figured that, but what's the L stand for?
That's my middle
Yeah, no.
my middle name is Leoness.
Leoness?
Leoness.
Are we talking like, was it Leonidas, the 300?
I think my mom just liked a female lion and she named it like Lioness.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you spell it?
Liones.
Okay, yeah, that's...
She knocked out one S.
Yeah, I like how you're pronouncing it like it's not a female lion. You're like, Leoness? No, don't make it all French. It's lioness. You lying son of a bitch.
My name's a joke.
No, it makes sense because actually the female lion does most of the fighting and hunting and everything else.
Great.
So, yeah, don't feel
Hispanic.
bad just because you're a lion with a vagina over there. That's great, man. See, we're finding out so much about you this week.
It's too much.
What do we cover? You draw. You've done the Invader Zim storyboarding. You've done the transporter storyboarding. You're a
Okay.
You're a karate instructor. You're a fitness guru. You DJ. And what else? Did we hit on anything else? Oh, you do flyers. And you do comedy from time to time.
And I do comedy every week.
Look at that's like this many. That's like this many things. That's like a lot of things.
Damn, it is a lot of things.
That is a lot of
It's
things.
ridiculous.
So, and I guess the main thing is, are you doing everything you want? Is there one more?
That's
thing
what it is.
Yeah.
I honestly am doing everything I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Now, there hasn't been one point where I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, but like, you know.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to get into? I mean, besides being the co-host of the like best podcast in Central Florida.
I'm honestly doing it right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comedy is one of those things where I was always scared about doing. So, and then I just took the leap, which I didn't know you can just jump into comedy. So
I was talking about that with someone today, like on Facebook.
I thought you had to be famous
on
for the longest.
on Facebook, there's so many people that just every post, we as comics, or as a comic. And I'm like, I've never heard of you. And that's the thing. Like, I get not hearing of people like outside of Central Florida, but if you do comedy in Central Florida, I pretty much have heard of your name. I've heard of you. And then when I look you up and I still don't know you, we're in the comedy is the one profession where there's no criteria. It's just you can just start calling your. I wish it was like. Well, I guess it is like that with like medical and everything. I mean, you got Dr. Dre out there. I'm pretty sure he's not a doctor of anything.
I think he has a degree now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think it's harder to become like anything besides a comic. Like, there's no criteria. You just all of a sudden you're a comic, and
No
then
resume.
but there's so many different levels, and no one distinguishes that. Like, oh, I'm a comedian. Oh, really? Where do you perform? Oh, well, I do open mics once a month, and that holds the same weight calling yourself as a comedian as someone who makes their entire living and supports their family doing comedy, and there's no distinction. Supposedly, all of a sudden, the guy who does an open mic once a month, his opinion should matter as much about comedy as the guy who's done it for 30 years. And that makes no sense to me.
I mean, that's a whole discussion right there about how the comedy scene has changed.
I don't think it's changed. I'm sure that's always been.
I think people feel a little bit too much entitled now, and they just
That's for next week.
Yeah.
Next week, you'll have an Italian, Irish guy, and Hispanic talking about entitlement. Because, you know, the thing, I'm in here being white and just feeling like I've been given too much in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, all I really want is 35-inch waist pants. That's it.
Well, that's achievable, but we'll do it.
Yeah, no. If there was really white privilege, someone would send me a pair of 35-inch. Because why should I change who I am to adjust to society? Society needs to change to benefit me. And that starts with Lee putting out 35-inch. You know why I need, Lee, if you're listening? I need 35 waist and then like 18 inseam is what I'm looking for.
You gave him a name already? What the hell?
Oh, well. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening or not listening to the obligatory podcast with Kermit and Mike. This was our episode January 30th, and we'll be back next week. Say goodbye, Kerm.
See you later, alligators. That was corny.
That was horrible.
Oh, boy.
Try again. We'll try it again. We'll edit it out. Okay, that was the obligatory podcast for January 30th with Kermit and Mike, and we'll see you next week, I hope. Or, yeah, say goodbye, Kerm.
Goodbye, Kerm.
That was so George Burns.
I'll see you guys later. How about that?
All right, that works. All right.
Bye.